If you're waking up to use the bathroom once, twice, or even more times every single night, I want you to stop blaming your bladder. It is not the villain here. In fact, what if I told you that the frequent urge to go is actually a distress signal from a completely different system in your body, one that controls your metabolism, your heart health, and your longevity? Today, we are going to fix this, not by treating the symptom, but by resetting the source. Many of us assume that getting up at 2 a.m. is just a prostate thing or a weak bladder thing that inevitably comes with age. You might feel resigned to it, thinking it is just your new normal to navigate the hallway in the dark. But waking up multiple times a night does more than just annoy you. It fragments your sleep cycles, spikes your cortisol, and can lead to brain fog, weight gain, and even insulin resistance. It creates a cascade effect that impacts your energy, your mood, and your cognitive focus the next day. The good news is that for the vast majority of you watching, the fix is not a medication or a surgery. It is a strategic adjustment to your body's chemistry. Conventional advice often tells us to simply drink less or train the bladder. However, what if the issue isn't the plumbing, but the pump? What if the instructions your brain is sending to your kidneys are getting scrambled by things you are eating or the timing of your day? We are about to walk through a series of specific, scientifically grounded adjustments. We have 5 crucial insights to cover. We will start with some foundational habits you might think you know, but probably aren't doing quite right. Then, we will move into the deeper, metabolic secrets, our hidden keys that almost no one talks about. I need you to stay with me until the very end, because our game-changing revelation number 1 is going to challenge everything you've been told about your nightly routine. It is the single most powerful lever you can pull to stop the nighttime waking, and it has nothing to do with your bladder. Quick, important reminder. All the information shared today is for educational purposes. Everyone's health situation is unique, so please consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet, exercise, or health regimen, especially if you have pre-existing conditions or are on medication. Let's use this knowledge to have informed discussions with TA. Insight number 5. The timing and tonic strategy. Let's begin with something that sounds simple but is often the most mishandled part of our day: the relationship between what we drink and when we drink it. We often stay hydrated, so we sip water religiously until our head hits the pillow. The challenge we face here is a misunderstanding of how our kidneys operate on a schedule. Your body is designed to slow down urine production at night to allow you to sleep. However, if you load the system with fluid right before bed, you are physically overriding that shutdown signal. It is not a medical mystery, it is simply volume. To truly grasp this, let's use an analogy. Imagine your bladder is like a rain barrel at the bottom of a downspout. Throughout the day, it is fine for the rain to fall. You can empty the barrel easily. But if you pour a massive bucket of water into the gutters right before you lock the doors for the night, that barrel is going to overflow, regardless of how strong the barrel is. You are creating a flood just as you are trying to close up shop. Therefore, the strategy here is about front-loading your hydration. Health experts often highlight that the optimal approach is to consume the vast majority of your fluids, your water, your herbal teas, in the earlier part of the day. A good rule of thumb is to stop any significant fluid intake 3 hours before your bedtime. This gives your kidneys, your filtration plant, enough time to process that liquid and eliminate it before you get into bed. This also applies to what acts as a diuretic. Caffeine from coffee, tea, and even the stimulants in chocolate can irritate the bladder and force fluid out. If you are having that afternoon cup of joe, you might be setting yourself up for a 3 a.m. wake-up call. By shifting your hydration window to earlier in the day, you ensure your body is hydrated, but your bladder is empty when it matters most. Strategy number 4. The nutritional tipping point. Moving deeper, we need to talk about the composition of your evening meal. We often think about food in terms of calories, but for a good night's sleep, we need to think about chemistry, specifically the balance of protein and minerals. Here is the underlying issue. When you consume a large amount of protein, think of a massive steak or a huge piece of chicken. Late at night, your body has to process it. One of the byproducts of breaking down protein is a substance called urea. Your body cannot just keep urea floating around. It needs to get rid of it. And how does it do that? Through urine. Ideally, we want to avoid giving the body heavy cleanup work to do while we are sleeping. Think of your digestion like a factory shift. If the night shift workers, your kidneys, are suddenly handed a massive shipment of raw materials, protein, to process right at closing time, they have to keep the machinery running overtime to clear the waste. They cannot just clock out. But it is not just protein. It is also sodium. Too much salt in your evening meal is going to make you thirsty, which leads to drinking more fluids. Breaking insight number 5. But it also messes with how your body manages water volume. Therefore, our nutritional tipping point strategy is to shift your largest intake of protein to the middle of the day, perhaps lunch. For dinner, aim for a lighter portion of protein. This reduces the production of urea at night. It is about being kind to your kidneys. You aren't starving yourself. You are simply rescheduling the heavy lifting to a time when your body is active and upright. This simple shift reduces the chemical demand on your bladder, allowing the factory to shut down quietly for the night. Secret number 3. The neurological anchor. Now, let's unlock a secret that is often missed in standard checkup. Sometimes, the issue isn't the volume of urine, but the urge to go. Have you ever woken up desperate to pee, rushed to the bathroom, and then almost nothing comes out? This is incredibly frustrating. It suggests that the difficulty might be neurological, a misfiring signal between your nerves and your bladder muscles. This is where specific nutrients come into play, specifically vitamin B1 and magnesium. Think of the nervous system that controls your bladder like the electrical wiring in a house. If the wiring is frayed or the voltage is unstable due to a lack of B1, the lights, your bladder signals, might flicker on and off randomly, even when you didn't flip the switch. Magnesium acts like the insulation on that wire. It keeps everything calm and prevents short circuits. Without these two, your bladder is twitchy. But many of us are deficient in these nutrients due to processed diets or stress. A lack of B1 and magnesium can leave the bladder unable to fully relax and hold urine, or it causes it to contract when it is not full. Therefore, the neurological anchor secret involves ensuring you are getting adequate magnesium, glycinate, and vitamin B1. B1 supports the autonomic nervous system, the automatic control center, while magnesium relaxes the smooth muscle of the bladder. If you suspect this is your issue, the urgency without volume. Increasing these nutrients, perhaps through nutritional yeast for B1, or leafy greens, and supplementation for magnesium, can act as a stabilizer, anchoring that electrical signal, so you only wake up when you actually need to. Now, just a note here. If you are considering supplements, especially if you are on other medications, this is a great topic to bring up with your doctor to find the right dosage for you. Key number 2. The gravity and mineral paradox. We are getting closer to the root causes now. This next key explains a phenomenon that baffles many seniors: swollen ankles during the day and a full bladder at night. The mechanics here rely on simple physics. During the day, gravity pulls fluid down into your lower legs, ankles, and feet. This is why your socks might leave a dent in your skin by evening. That is fluid retention or edema. When you stand, that fluid is trapped down there. But the moment you lie down in bed to sleep, gravity is no longer keeping that fluid in your feet. It is like tipping a half-full water bottle on its side. The water levels out. In your body, that fluid from your legs re-enters your bloodstream. Your heart senses this extra fluid volume and says, "Whoa, too much liquid." It signals the kidneys to filter it out immediately. Therefore, you end up with a full bladder 2 hours after lying down, even if you didn't drink a drop of water. This is the gravity and mineral paradox. The solution is twofold. First, mechanically, you can try wearing compression socks during the day or elevating your legs in the evening to help that fluid circulate earlier. However, the deeper biological fix involves potassium. Potassium is the mineral that exists inside your cells, while sodium exists outside. If you are low on potassium, which many of us are, as we don't eat enough vegetables, you cannot hold water inside the cells where it belongs. It leaks out, causing that swelling. By increasing potassium-rich foods, like avocados, beet tops, and large salads, you are effectively upgrading the sponges in your cells to hold water better, preventing it from pooling in your legs and eventually waking you up at night. Revelation number 1. The Metabolic Master Key. We have arrived at the most critical, game-changing revelation. If you do everything else, but ignore this, you may still find yourself waking up. This is the secret that connects your sleep to your metabolism. The ultimate villain for many seniors isn't the bladder. It is a hormone imbalance, driven by insulin resistance. Here is the truth. Your body produces a miraculous hormone called the Anti-Diuretic Hormone, ADH. Its entire job is to tell your kidneys, hey, we are sleeping now. Conserve water. Don't make urine. It is your body's built-in sleep guard. But there are things that completely shut this hormone down. The biggest offender: high blood sugar and high insulin levels. When you consume sugar, starches, or, worst of all, snack late at night, you spike your insulin. To understand this, imagine your kidneys are a high security gate. ADH is the guard that locks the gate at night to keep the water in. High insulin and blood sugar are like a riot that tramples the guard and smashes the gate open. Why? Because water follows sugar. If your blood sugar is high, your body desperately tries to flush it out, and it drags massive amounts of water with it. This is why diabetics urinate frequently. But it happens to anyone with insulin resistance. Furthermore, alcohol is the kryptonite to this ADH hormone. Drinking alcohol shuts off the production of the anti-diuretic hormone almost instantly. That is why you pee so much when you drink. The guard has left the building. Therefore, our metabolic master key is this: stop the nighttime snacking. It is the single most destructive habit for your sleep. By cutting out eating after dinner and reducing carbohydrates and sugars in your evening meal, you allow your insulin levels to drop. When insulin is low, and you haven't consumed alcohol, your anti-diuretic hormone can finally do its job. It locks the gate. Your kidneys calm down. The production of urine drops drastically. This is the hard truth that most people miss. They are looking for a pill for their bladder, when the cure is in their kitchen. By stabilizing your blood sugar and respecting the fasting window before bed, you aren't just saving your sleep. You are protecting your heart, your brain, and your waist. And there you have it. Our game-changing revelation number 1. It might seem challenging to give up that evening snack or the nightcap, but as we've explored, the impact it has on stabilizing your anti-diuretic hormone is profound. It is the difference between a broken night and a restorative slumber. So, we've covered a lot of ground today. We started with the foundational timing and tonic strategy of front-loading your water. We moved to the nutritional tipping point of balancing your protein. We discovered the neurological anchor of B1 and magnesium, solved the gravity and mineral paradox with potassium, and finally, unlocked the metabolic master key by eliminating late-night snacking and sugar. Each one of these is a stepping stone. You don't have to do them all at once. Start with one. Maybe tonight, you just commit to closing the kitchen 3 hours before bed. See what happens. Which of these insights, perhaps it was our nutritional strategy regarding protein, or maybe the surprising truth about potassium and your angles, or even our ultimate revelation about insulin, resonated with you the most? Which one are you thinking of trying first? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share them in the comments below. If you found this journey through these health discoveries valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps others find our community. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more powerful strategies tailored for our fantastic group of healthy seniors. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and keep thriving.